Walter Crenshaw had always believed in an apple a day. At 76, he prided himself on eating clean, fruit with every meal, plenty of water, long walks at sunrise. He had outlived most of his golf buddies and stayed off medication longer than anyone in his senior group. But lately, something was wrong. It started subtly. He began waking up twice a night to urinate, then 3 times, then more. There was a dull ache below his belly button, an odd sensation like pressure that never quite went away. He dismissed it at first, blaming aging. But after a near accident during a grocery run, he barely made it to the bathroom in time, he booked an appointment with Dr. Rowe, the local urologist. Dr. Rowe ran the tests, asked the usual questions, then raised an eyebrow at Walter's food journal. "You eat a lot of fruit," he noted. Walter nodded proudly. "Every day. Blueberries with breakfast, orange slices before lunch, banana after my walk, and I finish dinner with a few dates or mango." Dr. Rowe sighed and leaned back in his chair. "That's part of the problem." Walter blinked. "What do you mean? Fruit's healthy." Dr. Rowe folded his hands. "Some of it, yes. But at your age, especially with early signs of benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, certain fruits can worsen your symptoms. They're inflaming your prostate and encouraging it to grow." Walter stared at him, stunned. No one had ever said this before. Dr. Rowe continued. "There are 5 fruits I warn older men about. Let's go through them one by one. Star 1, bananas. Bananas are high in sugar and starch, and they spike insulin," Dr. Rowe explained. "Most people don't realize insulin plays a role in prostate health. Chronically elevated insulin levels lead to systemic inflammation, which affects hormone balance and contributes to prostate enlargement." Walter thought about his daily banana, peeled and eaten without a second thought after every walk. "I thought potassium was good for the heart," he muttered. "It is," Dr. Rowe agreed, "but at this stage, your prostate's the one demanding attention." 2. Mangoes. Mangoes are loaded with fructose, the doctor said. Too much fructose is processed in the liver and turns into fat. That includes fat in the abdomen and around the organs, what we call visceral fat. Visceral fat increases estrogen levels in men, and that hormonal shift accelerates prostate growth. Walter's face fell. He had always loved mangoes. His late wife used to slice them on hot summer nights. It felt like betrayal to blame something so sweet and full of memory. "I'm not saying never," Dr. Rowe added gently. "But right now, your prostate's inflamed. You need to eliminate triggers." Ma 3, oranges. Walter raised an eyebrow. "Oranges? But they're full of vitamin C." "Yes," said the doctor. "But they're also highly acidic. When your body's dealing with prostate inflammation, acidic foods can irritate the urinary tract. They won't cause enlargement on their own, but they'll make the symptoms, urgency, frequency, burning, much worse, especially before bed." Walter remembered the orange he'd eaten just an hour before his worst night yet. He had barely slept, in and out of the bathroom like clockwork. 4. Dates. Dr. Rowe tapped the list again. Dates are basically candy disguised as fruit. They're almost pure sugar. Sugar feeds inflammation and disrupts hormone balance, and for someone with BPH, they're a fast track to discomfort. Walter didn't argue. He loved dates, but they were sweet enough to feel guilty about. He had used them to satisfy dessert cravings, believing they were the better option. Apparently, his prostate disagreed. 5. Grapes. "Lastly," said Dr. Rowe, "grapes. People pop them like harmless snacks, but they're high in natural sugar and notoriously sprayed with pesticides unless you buy organic. Some of those chemicals are endocrine disruptors. They interfere with hormone production, especially testosterone. Any drop in testosterone and rise in estrogen can make your prostate grow faster." Walter sat back in his chair, stunned. "So what can I eat? Just sit in a corner and nibble on lettuce?" Dr. Rowe chuckled. "You can still eat fruit, just the right kinds and in moderation. Berries are your best friends. Low sugar, high antioxidant, and they actually help reduce inflammation." Walter left the clinic with a new prescription, not for pills, but for awareness. That night, he stood in front of his fridge, looking at the bowl of fruit he used to be so proud of. It felt like someone had moved the goalposts on health, as if the rules had changed without telling him. But instead of despair, he felt something else: control. At least now he knew. He cleared out the mangoes, gave the bananas to his neighbor, swapped the orange slices for cucumber. It wasn't about denial, it was about adjustment. Aging, he realized, wasn't just about slowing down. It was about listening more closely to the body that had carried him this far. A week later, he woke only once during the night. By the second week, the ache had eased. By the third, he had more energy. He still missed the mangoes, but he found a new fondness for blackberries and cold watermelon. At his next checkup, Dr. Rose smiled. "You're improving. Your bladder's emptying more efficiently, and the swelling has gone down." Walter tipped his cap. "All from fruit," he said, "or the lack of it." The doctor nodded. Sometimes the smallest things make the biggest difference, especially when you're 76 and your prostate has something to say about every bite.